Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a special video version of the Rock of Nations program. I'm in a hidden bunker location. Shane is in a mysterious battle-ready vehicle, and we've got our good friend Jasonica, our record store correspondent, Jason Schaefer-Valerius, over at Electric Avenue Music in Westchester. Hey now, everybody. What's going on?
How you guys doing?
I know that was a little too much. Sorry on my part. That was.
I can't feel my legs.
That's why I always do video.
Get out of the car.
Yeah, we're here to talk about some new releases, and Jason is the man. He always has the new release. Look at that wall behind him.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Ooh.
Record Store Day is coming, and we are pumped, man.
New Sabbath box.
I like it.
Yeah.
First off, how cool is it that the Record Store Day is finally here again?
Oh, it's cool. It's weird because it's been 7 months when it should have been 5, but I guess we're getting closer. Like the windows are getting closer together, and I don't know. I'm feeling pumped about it. I think this one's going to be really good. So just remember to come out in July too, because there's 2 of them, right? So
right, yeah. Last year was so weird because it was like, I mean, aside from everything that happened, it was like, Record Store Day was this day. It just went on and on and on.
It was never ending. It was like a chain of them.
Yeah, it's got to be exciting, especially for a store owner like yourself. I mean, we've been, finally, it's for you and for customers. I mean, you can come in and shop and look and those precious moments that we love. That's all part of the process.
Yes, and for me, particularly because last year I was really trying to be very vigilant and safe about it, and so we were doing all curbside events. And so this will be the first time that people have actually been in the store for a Record Store Day line since 2019. So
yeah, you did the handoff thing last time, right?
Yeah, some people loved it and are missing that, but I don't know. It's supposed to be sort of a communal event, and I know that a lot of people are just like, oh, waiting in a line, it's like an iPhone, but that's part of the fun, right? And the sort of thrill of like, am I actually going to get it? So,
yeah. Well, there was some news you broke yesterday. You were saying that there's a significant number of releases that are not coming out on Saturday. They've been pushed back. Why? What are some of those releases, and why did this happen?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, one in particular that I think sort of has some people like a little bit annoyed was the Noel Gallagher. It was sort of a late edition, and they're actually releasing it in England. So they managed to get it made and have it there, but to get it shipped over to the US, there's all that customs delay and whatnot. So I don't know. There were a few things. Was there anything major that you remember? There, I saw things like Bjork, which was sort of like an EP with a choir and stuff like that. So I don't think there was anything too major. The Bill Evans, which is always big, just with the jazz heads, they were kind of annoyed. But that company, they're a great company as far as the product that they make, but they are always like the last people to get their product to the warehouse. So
why is that? Are they just super particular, or?
I don't know. Last year I mentioned it on Facebook to someone at management needs to have their job reconsidered, and I got answers right away like, what's wrong? How can we help you? But here we are again. So it's been a really tough year as far as keeping the manufacturing end of it going, and the supply and demand. I had someone in today who was like, do you have any Motley Crue? And I actually had just gotten a Shout at the Devil in that I ordered like weeks ago, and I sold it in about 2 hours.
Oh wow.
And this kid was here an hour later, and I'm like, I'm sorry, it's probably going to be another month, So this is happening a lot. They just can't make them fast enough. Everyone's stressed. So
And that one they're
I'm surprised all this is here.
You brought up a good point because Motley Crue has something pretty cool coming out, don't they? For this,
Well, I just happen to have that sitting right here.
There it is.
check that out.
Cassette box set. Oh, all 5 albums.
Yeah.
Early ones.
Very nice, sleek production. Plus I think, with the Vince Neil and the struggles with his voice lately, I mean, people are probably thinking, who knows if the stadium tour is going to happen, at least with them. So got to go out and get some Crue, but that looks good.
That's right. I mean, it can't all be Genesis, right?
Yeah. We were talking about that.
So what is that, Jason? Is that the first couple records or how many records?
5.
That's the first 5?
Yeah.
That's Too Fast for Love.
Mm-hmm.
You got it.
Shout Out the Devil.
Yes.
Um,
The weak one. Oh, I'm kidding. Theater of Pain.
Yes, Theater of Pain.
And then you know the next 2.
Go ahead, Dave.
Girls, Girls, Girls. Wait, no, Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Dr. Feelgood is last.
And what was in the middle?
You were right. Girls, Girls, Girls.
Okay.
You
Cool.
had it.
Yeah, which is the one with all the cowbell?
I'll never forget one of my first things that this is going to date me, but one of the first things I ever sold at a record store was the release date of Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood. And I'm like, I have never seen this much mint green before in my life.
Yeah.
Hundreds of copies out of one store. It was a mall, those were the days.
Yeah.
That came out. So that was huge.
Yeah.
That
Huge.
up there with like Joshua Tree and
Oh my God.
It was massive.
massive. The demand for that album was so. What are some of the records coming out, Jason, that really are blowing your socks off?
Blowing my socks off. Well,
We have to do a tell here.
Well, I mean, some of them are at the bottom of my pile, but
What's
I would.
your pile?
What?
What's your pile on display now?
My
From the
pile.
guy that co-piles piles of records.
For me, I'm a big fan. You guys know I'm a big fan of Prince.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, this. I don't know if that's going to photograph very well, but it's The Truth, which was an album that was the 4th disc in a box set of Crystal Ball that kind of got buried there. It's really nice, kind of like gold lettering and stuff like that. I love this record, and I'm glad it's finally got a place of its own. So it's kind of a weird cover, but he sort of looks like Little Richard a little bit, kind of in like.
It's very old school. It's got that late 50s, early 60s kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
Dig it.
it's not his typical look. So, but that I'm excited about. I'm also, for me, I was sort of excited about the Tears for Fears release, which is live in '85.
At their
Sort of the
prom.
height of their popularity.
Yeah.
Yeah, Everybody Wants to Rule the World and Shout are on here. So, what else do you need?
That was concert at Massey Hall, right?
Yes. Yeah, Canada, 1985. Someone was saying they thought it was a radio broadcast that got put onto vinyl, but I mean, whatever. If you're preserving that, that's great.
I think
Fans
it is.
will eat it up. I love it. So
I think the version of I Believe in Broken was taken, that live version was taken from that concert.
Oh, really?
I'm not positive, but I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
they're both on here, but they're separated by about 5 songs, so that's interesting.
Brought them together for the single release,
I
man.
guess so.
Material.
Roland had a plan.
So much stuff. It's unbelievable how much Prince stuff there is, and I mean, was that 60 CBS Sunday Morning documentary talking about the former producers. I mean, the folks who run. I'm blanking on the name of the studio.
Paisley Park.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but so much stuff in the vaults that they were unlocking, and hey, they said.
Yeah, didn't they say something like he's got enough material to release an album for like the next 100 years, or it might even 1,000 years? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was about 100 years consecutive, like year after year. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
crazy.
awesome. Yeah.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Absolutely.
Now, the Prince, what are some of the songs on that I can't remember? It's been so long since
I mean, the song that I think is a classic, if people actually heard it, there's not a lot going on in it because they're mostly acoustic, but Welcome to the Dawn, the last song, it's sort of like, it kind of was a precursor to the stuff he was doing on Emancipation. And it was actually the B-side to the Holy River. So that's kind of interesting. But there's songs like Man in a Uniform that are kind of like, almost more like kind of funky militant sounding sort of. And then, a song like Dion or Circle of Amour, those are more like kind of tender, kind of quirky. So they're very like, some of them are very playful and some are very kind of like almost dark in a way, but it's a great record. So weird record. So I could see why it wasn't like mass marketed, but
yeah. Prince
that's
was he was able to like
and then dark.
Yeah, if you wanted to go political, the music would, like you said, have that militant dynamic. If you wanted to go kind of lighthearted, he can go that way too. It was just amazing, how he could match those atmospheres.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was just looking at the pile here to see what other stuff, and there's a couple of like sort of soul. I don't know. These are more like, I don't know much about this guy, but I had a lot of people asking for Lupe Fiasco.
Okay.
He's like a hip hop guy.
Yeah.
Today, or is it a few years ago? Yeah.
It's Food and Liquor Volume 1 and 2. So I guess his first breakthrough album, which is sort of like pretty heavily sought after. I think it was long out of print. And another thing that I thought was kind of cool was this Philly soul.
Okay.
Gamble and Huff. Sound of Philadelphia live in San Francisco in 1973. So it's like, it's got a Don Cornelius intro.
Yeah.
Right on.
And MFSB backs Harold Melvin, 3 Degrees, Billy Paul, and the OJs. So yeah, that's kind of cool.
Very cool.
Is that a lot of medleys, or is that individual songs?
It's a sort of a mix of, but it's mostly individual songs, I think. Yeah, they have it listed individually. So ends with Love Train, obviously. So
oh yeah.
Welcome to Philly.
That's awesome. It's so cool. Yeah. I mean, I think there's it's great when you can live in or around a city and find great compilations like that are produced from where you are. I mean, I know that was out in Frisco, but like the Philly connection, it's just
exactly.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to the Aretha one too, but that's not coming out till July, I think. And that is live in Philly in 72. I forgot I also had the Donny Hathaway live record, which I think they did this on blue vinyl, maybe. I don't know, but a lot of great covers there.
That's an amazing album right there.
Yeah. So good.
And Donnie tragically passed away late 70s.
Every time I hear the Mod theme, all I think is how tragic it is.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
And now it's I've been playing Amy Winehouse New Live at the BBC Sessions release in the store a lot, and she mentions Donny Hathaway so much in those songs, and you hear it in her music too, and that's another tragedy. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe she was only like 27. This is crazy. So.
She was. I got into her like maybe like right before she passed away, and it was like it was so quick. Like she came out, and I mean, she was like took over the world of music, and it was so original, and then it was like, what do you mean she's gone? Like
Yeah. And everybody tried to do stuff to help her, and it's like she didn't really want the help. That's I think that's part of the issue. But I should show you one thing I think is hysterical. If you haven't seen it, it's the Freddie Gibbs and Madlib Pinata, and this is the 1984 edition. And the back, they actually replicate the Island Records logo.
Oh, that's awesome.
And instead of saying Island, it says Invasion. It's got like Madlib written in the MCA script down there, and I don't know. It's just funny. It's like set up like a like a Miami Vice TV show.
Yeah,
So they can get really creative with the packaging. So
That's Mad Lib. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
kind of surprised that Roberta Flack didn't get a release, alongside Donnie there.
Yeah, she's due. It's funny. I just started recently putting more of her stuff in the racks near like where people kind of flock to more often, and it started to sell. And I'm like, good. People need to really know, especially her early records are so good. So
yeah. Oh my gosh,
they're getting pricey too.
yeah, that's what I hear. Mine aren't there yet, but what are you telling me?
Mark them up.
Man, yours are too cheap.
Or give them to me. No,
I saw her at a concert in '98, I think, '99 in LA, and she was playing at an event we went to, so it wasn't like a full concert, although it was at the Staples Center. But some of the CDs, it was a new CD she was selling at the time, and I thought, wow, the prices were high back then, for CDs. I think they were like $22. I don't know, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, but now I get it though, something like this being rare.
I just saw Gladys Knight was on like the country awards last night, and that woman looks amazing. Is
Fantastic.
she just defying age or something? And I know she was on The Masked Singer a couple of years ago, and I'm like, she should have won. I think she was like second or third place. I don't know, but
Dude, that was my show. Yeah, and I used to watch Mike Douglas, and then right after Mike Douglas was the Gladys Knight and the Pip show.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they used to come out, and that was just amazing stuff.
Yeah, she's timeless. So incredible.
Yeah.
Hold me.
You guys want to see some Grateful Dead?
Dude, this thing, you got to explain this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, this was recorded at the Olympia Theater in Paris in 1972, and it's got, I don't know, maybe 20. It's 6 records, so it's not cheap and it's not small. I mean, the Dead just kept playing and playing, right? But this was actually 4 of these songs were used on their Europe '72 album, so they thought highly enough of this record to take things from it to use for that. So I think this is something that a lot of Deadheads are just going to be like, oh, I have to have it because it's a complete show. So
it's a clean design too. I mean, multicolor on the front, and then the lists of the track listing on the back. I love the way records are designed. The packaging. That looks good. It's nice and clean.
Yeah, they're doing a better job of that stuff. I also like the Tom Petty, which is the bonus sort of She's the One material, and that picture, which at first I was like, who is that? It's Shane.
All right, I'll take that. No, She's the One was the movie soundtrack that Tom did for I guess Ed Burns movie, right? And
Aniston, yeah. I think I'm gonna double.
And all recorded during Wildflowers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the soundtrack was better than the movie.
Oh my god, it's so good. Yeah.
Well, this version, they said it's remixed and it's got 4 bonus tracks on it. So
wow.
Hopefully that cleans up most of the Wildflowers era, because it seems like, well, as great as it is, it's like the gift that keeps on giving, So
they're scraping, man. They're scraping everything out of there.
It really is. She's the One 25th anniversary. Gosh, that's crazy. And it was like 92 to 96 around that time. So that would include Wildflowers, which I was amazed at all the stuff they're pulling from that record. I love the record, but it's reached the status that I think even when Tom Petty was alive, that's just like it's bigger than almost Full Moon Fever in a way. It's just, I don't know if it's just a classic or if it's just
it has a life of its own at this point. But is Angel Dream, is that the actual soundtrack or is that alternate takes? Because I'm confused.
Part of it is, some of it is actual soundtrack, but they're remixed by whoever he was working with, because he said Tom was never really thrilled with the end sound of that album. He thought it was a little too glossy. So if you've heard like the Finding Wildflowers that came out as sort of the extra outtakes from the box set, I assume it's supposed to be more like that. At least that's from what all the press releases have been saying, but I haven't heard it yet either. Just like the the masses.
Rick Rubin and Mike Campbell with Tom Petty on that one. At least for you're talking about She's the One, right? I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that would make sense because I think that was Wildflowers was right in there with those guys. Rick Rubin, Tom Petty, and of course Mike Campbell. So maybe Rick was the one bringing all the slick because Mike's always been just a tight sort of raw player. I thought,
Mm-hmm.
More proof that Jennifer Aniston was the one.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Just kidding. Not really, but
Well, if you want 90s, I mean, you could get your L7.
crank that one.
Get your Grun Truck. Remember Grun
Yeah.
Truck?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dave wasn't born yet, but
I was still trying to make a pun on the Friends theme, since there was the Friends reunion. Then I'm like, I stopped myself because it was like that doesn't make any sense.
yeah, Grunt Truck was weren't they in the scene with everybody else out there?
yeah, Seattle scene.
Yeah.
And I know you're a fan of Richard Butler, Shane. You got your Love Spit Love.
That's a really good record right there.
Yeah. What year is that?
97.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of in the interim when he was not doing Psychedelic Furs, but
Oh man.
I guess most people would remember the theme to Charmed being their cover of Smith's How Soon Is Now. But there's kind of an odd U2 piece. Is this Fire single?
What is that?
Yeah.
It's the U2 piece.
Oh, that's Fire.
That's Fire. I love Adam Clayton's hair.
Oh yeah. It's got to be 84, 83, 84, I think.
Yeah, it was. It might have been 82, 83, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Because War came out 83, I think.
And then 84. So you're right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like Adam's got October hair.
Okay. October. That's it.
Yeah, he did. What's on that? What's on that? Can you see what the track listing is for that?
It's 4 tracks. It's Fire and Jay Swallow, and then the B-side is Fire live at Werchter, Belgium, July 82, and Fire live at Hammersmith Palais, London, December 82.
Wow.
So you got 3 versions of Fire.
Wow.
Fire.
That's cool.
The band shot kind of looks like the Definitely Maybe by Oasis.
It does.
Hey,
I never thought of that.
Yeah, yeah, it's just something about it.
Bono down there.
Yeah,
Definitely a feel to it there.
Guitar.
That's crazy.
They must have gotten it from that.
I know a lot of people are excited about Flaming Lips' Soft Bulletin Companion.
Okay.
That's like probably, I don't know if I want to say it's their best album, but it's certainly like one of the deepest.
Yeah.
I like Yoshimi.
Yeah.
I'm a Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots fan. That's my favorite record from them.
That's a tuneful record for sure. This one has they added Zarika tracks to this, so there's stereo versions of them. So I guess you don't have to fire up 4 turntables for that now, or CD players.
Right.
Yeah. Zarika was recorded and put out on 4 CDs, 4 LPs, and we're supposed to sync them all up on 4 turntables or 4 CD players or boom boxes or whatever, and play them all at the same time. So,
but they never came out the same because nobody ever really got them at the same time.
Yeah, they're good songs. They're all good songs, regardless of whatever disc you play or whatever. It's just that you're kind of just getting 1/4 of the picture, but it's still really good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check that out. Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
You guys like Linkin Park?
Oh, that was the problem, right?
Meteora.
Yeah.
The second record from Linkin Park right there.
Yeah, that's it. After Hybrid Theory, and I remember it took a while because like Hybrid Theory came out, and then they did the remix with Reanimation, and I'm like, oh man, I want a new record. Come on,
Yeah.
And there it was. Pretty decent track.
I guess it came after the Jay-Z remix, right?
I was gonna say I've got that Jay-Z Linkin Park sitting on the wall right there.
I see it,
It's
yeah.
$7. now.
It's not cheap. This is I like the cover of the Sword, Age of Winters.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
They did a really good job with that.
It's a great album right there.
Filled with enchantment.
I think it's most people's favorite Sword album, at least of the early ones.
That one and the second one, all you need, man.
Yeah, it's a great design, man.
Sorry.
There's an Electric Wizard reissue.
Yes.
There's an Orange Goblin reissue on orange vinyl.
Yeah.
There is some metal there.
Aren't you glad you don't have to say the other Goblin name on this song?
Let's not, since we're
we're not going to say it.
I know.
I'll be good. I promise.
Get your Sly and Robbie with actual rolling papers in there.
Wow. Wow. Oh, those kind of rolling papers.
Can you realize this was nominated for Best Reggae Album last year?
Can you pull out of there and reseal
it? You would do that, wouldn't you?
Thank you, Jason. The best.
Right. I'll find rolling paper strewn all over the floor.
No. That's bad for you.
You're right.
I not remember the record. No, I'm kidding.
You got R.I.P. Toots and the Maytals.
Oh, that's a great cover. The art is just, I mean,
yeah.
Dave, all the Mango stuff is just the best stuff in the world. If people ever ask, where do you start with reggae? Just go to the Mango label. That's a great place to start because it's accessible.
Right.
And it's some of the best stuff ever made.
So good. So good.
I mean, if you want to talk artwork, I think they sort of almost outdid, I don't know about this, but the Elton John record.
Oh, yeah.
Which do you know what this is? Have you guys heard about this?
What is that?
It's called the Regimental Sergeant Zippo. And so apparently he was working on an album before his very first album, which was Empty Sky. And the label was like, we don't know. It's a little too psyche, a little too referential of Beatles or something.
Yeah.
So they shelved it. And then when they were doing his box set last year, they put some of the tracks in that. And then they decided, hey, we're just going to take it and recreate the album in the best way that we could as to how it would have been if it had been released. So I think it's kind of cool for Elton John fans that it's like a whole album that was never there.
Elton could get away with that, though. The creation of that image, I think, even if it's Beatles-esque. I mean, I think, if anybody could get away with it, it's him,
Sure.
Well, he was
1967.
Yeah.
He was Mark Bolan's piano player. Mark Bolan being T-Rex. So
yeah, that's right.
Before he became
crazy
Elton. So
same era. Doors.
Oh yeah.
Morrison Hotel. This is like the Sessions.
It's iconic.
There's like 10 versions of Queen of the Highway on here.
Oh man.
I hear it's pretty cool though.
No, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's just them in the studio working the stuff out. So.
Oh yeah. All right.
Oh man.
That's a bad impression on my end. Sorry.
Rage Against the Machine.
Okay. There you go. Now, was Tom Morello involved in that? Because he must have been, but he's got like 27 shows on Sirius XM. So
recorded live in Mexico City, 1999.
Okay, so that was a while back. That's cool.
Yeah.
That was their prime.
Yeah.
That they're such a great live band, man. That's probably just fun.
I never saw them live. I wish I did. Oh man.
I think that was the thing that I heard from more people than anybody else last year when we finally were open after the lockdown. I had so many customers that were like, I had tickets to the Rage reunion show. I'm so upset. So.
Yeah.
Jimmy Page just came out yesterday on Facebook and posted about he went to see a Rage Against the Machine show. And he was just giving a personal and how blown away he was at the show.
Wow.
So is he going to remix all of Zeppelin's albums to sound like that now?
Well, they're going to take Jimmy's tracks off of the Zeppelin records, and Tom Morello is going to redo the tracks.
It worked for Bruce Springsteen. If it worked for the Ghost of Tom Joad, which surprisingly worked. I saw the live video. It's like, wow, I kind of poo-pooed that when it first happened. I said, no, don't mess with my Bruce, but it was really good. It worked. I don't know.
Like, you got your peanut butter in my Bruce, or
Yeah.
Sorry.
Shane, I know you love picture discs.
Whoa! Wow.
It's The Cure, right? Faith.
Pure faith.
Yeah. Let me see the front again. Sorry.
I mean, it's kind of pretty.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's a little dark.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sort of like The Cure.
I'm kicking myself over not picking up Blood Flowers because they never released the damn thing. But
Yeah, that was weird. I think they sort of let everybody on doing it the first time with those mix albums. And well, here's another one for you. Bonus, Pleased to Meet Me stuff. So,
read some of the tracks on that, Jason.
well, I mean, this says rare outtakes and alternate versions from the sessions on vinyl for the first time. So some of the songs are probably from it's Birthday Gal, Learn How to Fail, Run for the Country, Can't Hardly Wait, alternate version. All He Wants to Do Is Fish, Alex Chilton, alternate version. I Can Help, studio outtake. Lift Your Skirt Till We're Nude, Beer for Breakfast, Trouble on the Way, and I Don't Know, outtake. So.
Sorry. I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know?
You don't know.
I don't know.
Punk, Wasted Youth.
Okay.
Classic.
Later period, Joey Ramone.
Yeah.
That's a really, really fantastic record.
What was
Underrated.
Was that in the 80s?
No, that was
90s, right?
Yeah.
Wow, really much later. Wow.
you covered Louis Armstrong on that, if I remember.
Awesome. Yeah,
Interesting.
What a world.
I know a lot of people are looking for Steely Dan.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one that won the Grammy, didn't it win over, who did it take it from? I forget. Was it Nine Inch Nails?
I shall check.
My thing with that record is that's going to be one of the, I bet you that's going to be really ka-chang.
Yeah. Well, that's what people are saying, is a lot of people are going to take that record and just put it on their shelf just because they'll be like, if they're Steely Dan fans, it's like, oh, I'm completing the collection. The other one came out too, that Everything Must Go.
Was that 2006? Steely Dan steals the Grammys from Eminem and NSYNC?
Eminem and NSYNC, yeah, 2001, I think, or 2000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow, Eminem.
Yeah.
That was his big record too.
Yeah.
The Marshall Mathers LP.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's not much left here in this pile. There's Opeth.
Okay.
Morning Rise, early Opeth.
Back to the metal.
The new Struts record.
Okay.
Which hasn't been out on vinyl yet, even though it's been out for months. The new Garbage album, which comes out tomorrow.
Yeah,
this is like the limited version.
Yeah, Garbage is pretty consistent with putting out some cool stuff for record store days.
Yeah, their new singles are pretty edgy, I think. I don't know. I mean, I like the fact that they're still sort of uncompromising after all this time.
Yeah, me too.
Lady Gaga, Chromatica reissue.
I love that record. That was so good. That record, on the dance side of things, that one and Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa. Those are great. I mean, if you like dance,
there's not a weak song on them.
Yeah, just straight through. Elton John's on it. There's some other folks on there too. On the Chromatica one.
Well, I'm leaving. No, I'm just kidding.
Now I make Shane happy.
Oh yes.
Back on the Bunnymen.
Yeah, and that viral post that Kate put up.
No, whoa.
Kenny Loggins at the movies.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it's just his movie songs, which is all some people want to hear from him.
Danger Zone, you know.
Strangest album cover, but it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Gents, I'll tell you what, why don't we take a quick little break? We will be right back with part 2.